The 985th edition of the MMA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog. Underdog is hooking up new customers. Play just $5 and get $75 in bonus funds when you sign up with promo code MMA SGPN.
Heidi ho, DeGenerinos. Welcome to episode 985 of the MMA Gambling Podcast and the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. And most importantly, happy Festivus Day to all of you. This is dedicated to all of you who celebrate this high holy day of Festivus today, Tuesday, December the 23rd. What else can I tell you? Who am I? What is my name again? I'm Spicy Paja, Jeff Fox. With me, Danny Gumby Vreeland. We got some MMA to cover today, don't we, Gumby? It's something called.
We do. We got the New
Year's.
RIZIN. Yeah, New Year's Eve tradition here of RIZIN.
Yes.
Which, you know, I have to say, since their promotion started when they first kicked up, and we thought they were going to be Pride 2.0, and we're all, you know, pretty damn excited about it. They really have run a very small number of events.
Yeah.
In kind of like the most disappointing fashion. But when they do come for New Year's Eve, they come with plenty of gusto, which I appreciate.
Yes, exactly. So it's technically December 30th in our neck of the world when it's starting, but it's like late night on Tuesday, 11 p.m. is start time for this, and then which will be New Year's Eve day in Japan, if that makes sense to you all. How did this past weekend go, Gumby? Any updates, recaps on any of the plays from this past week?
I mean, to be fair, we're recording this while the weekend is currently going.
But most PFL is over, right? KSW.
Yeah, PFL Africa went all right, except for we only really had 3 plays from there because they finagled 2 of the fights, and they PFL'd us. And we went 2-1 in those plays. KSW is just finishing up at the time of recording right now, so a little peek behind the curtain there for you guys. And then CFFC still has not kicked off yet, so you know there's the jury's still out. We'll know by the time we're taping our futures episodes, which you guys are in for next week. That's right. UFC futures coming down the pipe.
I'm glad I asked that question then. It's great.
Yeah.
To let everyone know how far ahead we're actually recording this. Hey, it's the holidays. What do you expect from us? So as we said, we're covering RIZIN. Cool poster. RIZIN posters are usually pretty cool. They're Pride like. Maybe Pride Light would be a better.
Pride adjacent. They're Pride adjacent. Yeah.
Pride Light, LITE, probably explains the posters and the promotion in general, right? It's Pride-ish, but not, full blown Pride. But I don't think the way UFC is nowadays, I don't think you could do a full blown promotion as big and as big as Pride was, or as big as one was back in its day either, I guess. But that's okay. It's we're gonna have some fun with it. We're doing 2 episodes. This is part 1 because it's a big event. Lots of fighters you have heard of, lots of shiny belts on the line, all that good stuff. So today we're doing the first half. Tomorrow, Christmas Eve day, shall be covering the main card, which is basically almost all title fights. So, all right, before we dive into it, you can get access to all of our free picks and podcasts in one convenient place, the SGPN app. Download it for free in your app store. Just type in SGPN. All right, what's the name of the event, Gumby?
It has to do with I know it's like a really big long Japanese name, but I checked out the translation, and it is like winter warrior party is what I understand.
There's a title for us.
With the winter warrior party is essentially what I derived from the many different translations of the long Japanese name I looked at.
Yeah, according to Google Translate, it's similar to that. It's December Soldier Festival, which is
Winter Warrior Party, which is same thing.
Winter Warrior Party, same thing. Winter Warrior Party has a better ring to it. Yeah. Or if Japanese, it's RIZIN Shiwasu no Cho Tsuwamono Matsuri. Okay, so there you
nailed
go.
it.
For all those keeping track of them. Saitama, Japan. December the 30th, as I said, in our part of the world. So Tuesday, 11 p.m. Eastern. So basically Tuesday, late night. Tuesday, Saitama Super Arena. A real dome, not like the dome that PFL was running this. I guess maybe it's not a dome technically, but PFL was running a dome this weekend as well, like a 900 person dome, right?
I mean, it looked like one of the indoor like practice facilities my D3 baseball team used to use.
Yep, there you go. Yeah, it looks like the Saitama Super Arena actually technically is in a dome. It's just a big, cool looking building. So we got 15 fights in a ring. We're going to cover pretty much most of them. Gumby's leaving a few off just for the lightning round for you, because we have to have a lightning round. Don't want to disappoint you. So we are starting with prelim. I got. Do they even have prelims, or is everything just considered main card?
They break them up. There's like a weird intermission in there.
Right.
It doesn't have a awkward rap concert.
It's
like
some rap performance.
Yeah, no, that's just for PFL. Which, by the way, when I was watching PFL Africa this morning, they did it again.
For real.
Yeah,
I was thinking it was Octagon, but no, it's PFL that does that for real.
Octagon does too. Yeah, I feel like Octagon has bigger. Although, was it PFL who had Wiz Khalifa on one of it?
I've heard of him. Oh, that's right. He used to narrate the things and stuff. How much of their investor money were they blowing on him?
Yeah, I think he is actually an investor. So I think it's just like full. It's like full circle. That's the kickback.
Yeah, exactly. All right. We are starting with 146 pounds, so basically featherweight. Karshyga Dautbek. He is from Kyrgyzstan, right? I think that's that flag. Yes. No, Kazakhstan, sorry. Kazakhstan. We got Yuta Kubo. He is from Japan. No odds yet, but you will be getting odds for this as we let you know off the get-go. We're a little ahead of the actual start time for this, but there will be odds for sure, especially that week when the books are looking for something. So we'll start with the smiling sniper, Kubo. He's 5-2, 2 knockouts, 1 submission. He's been knocked out once. All those fights have taken place in RIZIN. He's won 5 of 6, TKO loss in his last bout. Though that was last year's New Year's event, December 2024. So he's been out of action for a bit. He used to fight up a weight class, 155. 0-1 in custom fighting, which could be anything in Japan. They're creative over there. 37-8-1 as a pro kickboxer by my math. Multi-time champ in that realm. 4-1 in Muay Thai. Surprisingly, no belts there. It seems everyone who's fought Muay Thai gets a belt, but he does not have any belts. 2 inches taller than Dautbek. Dautbek is 18-3. 14 knockouts, 1 submission, so he's a finisher, a knockout finisher. He's been knocked out himself twice, 4-1 in RIZIN. He has won 10 straight. Before that, he lost 2 straight. He's not lost since March of 2019, so nice little run here. He used to fight down a weight class, 135, 2015 pro MMA debut, 6 years younger than Kubo.
I think with the run that Dautbek's on, he's going to be a sizable favorite here. I wouldn't be surprised to see him in like the -250, maybe even like -300 kind of range. And I'm going to take him here, but I am going to throw a caveat in there. If he is that high, I don't want any part of it personally. I'm kind of hoping he comes in lower and in somewhere playable, but this might just be a stay away spot for me overall. And the big reason is Yuta Kubo, as you mentioned, his nickname is the sniper, and like that's exactly what he is. He's a southpaw. He fights very rangy. He's got big knockout power. In his fight with, I went back and I watched his fight with Saito, who we're going to talk about a little bit later on in the card, Yutaka Saito. Saito got to his hips a lot in that fight. I think I counted like 3 or 4 times. He shot a takedown. He got all the way to the hips and just couldn't finish it. And to me, that reads like, a successful takedown attempt, because with Dautbek gets in on those hips that way. He's going to finish that takedown. He's not, Kubo's not going to get away from that one. So the fact that, people repeatedly got to his hips in the past, and, you could maybe excuse it with the idea that like he was letting him get there because he knew he could get out, and maybe he won't with Dautbek. But, even if he's going to be more defensive there, it's going to limit his striking. And then the other thing, too, is every time Saito shot that takedown attempt or, sort of got towards that takedown attempt, I think it softened Kubo up in terms of the striking. And there was one overhand right that Saito hit that landed real flush on Kubo. And just like the funny thing is, I had just watched the film on Dautbek before that, and I'm like, that's the overhand right Dautbek throws all the time. That's the precise strike that is wide open here on Kubo, and it just happens to be the one that Dautbek like really leans on in terms of when he wants to do damage. Like, he'll throw jabs out there when he's just trying to feel you out or set up his takedowns or stuff like that. But when he decides he wants to do damage on the feet, it's that overhand right. So, like, I think he's got the right path to a big strike on the feet. I think he can get the takedowns if he needs to. So all those reasons are reasons I like Dautbek. But the reason I'm saying maybe stay away if he's at the -300 mark or somewhere around there is, first of all, Kubo's got the big KO power. So, like, you obviously have to worry about that. And then second of all, Dautbek sometimes forgets that, like, he should just be wrestling. he sometimes just like gets a little messy and decides to throw hands on the feet. And, maybe especially with the big crowds that they have over in RIZIN, maybe he just like loves hearing the crowd roar or whatever it is. But like in this fight, he should shoot a takedown 30 seconds in and he'll be fine. I just don't think he will for like 3 minutes. And that gives me 3 minutes of like sweating out a number that I probably wouldn't love. So Karshyga Dautbek is my official pick, but I would worry if this number gets too high.
What is a playable line though for you?
If
it got high 200s,
if it got to low 200s, or if it peaked into the ones, I'd be interested there, because I think, like I said, I think the advantages are there for him. There's just like a concern or two that wouldn't want me in deep on him at a big number.
Okay, cool. All right, we're going down a weight class, 134 pounds, which is bantamweight. Joji Goto from Japan. Jose Torres, you know him by a different name though. He is from the United States of America. Goto, 19-8-1, 10 knockouts, 4 submissions. He's been submitted 4 times. He's 4-0 in RIZIN. He's won 3 straight, and before that, he had lost 2 straight. TKO win in his last bout. 0-1 in the championship, the biggest promotion in the world at one time. He's fought at 125, 145. 2015 pro MMA debut. He got a draw in a 1 pro kickboxing bout. 4 years younger than Torres, 4 inches taller, 2 inches of reach advantage. Everyone's at least 4 inches taller because it's Shorty Torres that we're talking about here. Shorty is 13-5-1, 4 knockouts, 2 submissions. He's been knocked out twice. 1-1 in RIZIN. He has lost 2 straight though, and only won 1 of his last 5. He went 1-1 in the UFC. Multiple regional championships on his
mantle.
Correct. Get our shirts, get our merch, sportsgamblingpockets.com/store. I used to fight at flyweight.
I was at his only win in the UFC. It was at UFC Yutaka. And in that fight, he was getting beat up by the Monkey God, who picked him up and slammed him on his own head and knocked himself out in the process. And that's the only win Shorty Torres had in the UFC. I asked him backstage how bad he was hurt by a right hand that he took early in that fight, and he said he did not recall having been hit by a right hand.
There you go.
Which is a pretty good answer. So I think Torres is going to be the dog here. 1-4 in his last 4 fights, despite being up against some like better competition and having that UFC background, all that kind of stuff. Like, I think maybe the books will just like write him off. Like, it's over for him at this point in time. And that's part of the reason why I'm in on him here too, is I'm not ready to let go on Shorty Torres. If you watch Joji Goto, like basically, fun kickboxer, really nice high kicks. If you watch his fight with Kashima or Kashimaka, it's Kashimura. It's Kashimura.
Kalshi? Is it Kalshi?
It's not Kalshi. We'll talk about them in a second. But with Kashimura, he lands this big head kick early on. It looks like maybe it could have possibly hurt Kashimura. Kashimura reaches down, has like one of the weakest single attempts I've ever seen, and like Goto goes right to his back. And it's like, this guy's a fun kickboxer, and I just like,
that's it.
Even a weak single attempt is going to get you down. And then, against Shorty Torres, like, his striking is probably not where it used to be. Hell, his wrestling's not where it used to be, right? Like, he's clearly not as fast as he used to be. His entries don't look great. Like you watch his fight with Ogi Kobu, like, obviously he's struggling in that fight, backpedaling a lot in that fight. But like against a kickboxer who he can just get a single on and finish it, or, a basic double, or just get him up against the cage and lock your hands and take him down. Like, I think Torres can do that repeatedly enough to win this fight. So if you can get him at plus money, I wrote plus 140 down when I was handicapping it myself for where I think the books will be. And if that's the case, I'd love Shorty Torres at dog money here. Give me Jose Torres one more time.
What do they say on Topology? I haven't checked this one yet. Let me see if they agree with you or not. They probably are.
They might be high on Torres.
32% on Torres.
Even they're off of Torres, which definitely means the books probably aren't too.
You would think so. All right, excellent. We'll get more plays after I tell you about Kalshi. We just partnered up with Kalshi. They're a real money prediction market, legal in all 50 states. In all 50 states, you can trade tons of markets in sports, including NFL, college football, college basketball, NBA, NHL, and more. Plus, you can even trade props like first touchdowns. Besides sports, they have tons of other markets, including politics, entertainment, hell, they even have the weather. Kalshi, you can trade anything. Check out Gumby's articles over at sportsgamblingpockets.com. He'll show you some things that you can trade on Kalshi. And new Kalshi customers, you get $20 when you sign up with our promo code SGPN. So it's Kalshi, Kalshi, promo code SGPN. And Underdog is your home for pick'em entries where you can win up to 5,000 times your entry. Underdog has you covered this holiday season with Underdog Unwrapped. You'll unwrap tons of promos all throughout the holidays. Gumby will give you a winning play. First, he'll tell you that it's Tuesday, then he'll give you a winning play.
Yes, you're getting this in your ears on Tuesday.
There you go.
We of course got the Bulls and the Hawks tonight. Nikola Vucevic is my guy, and he's been my guy on 3-pointers lately. 3 games in a row with at least 2 3-pointers made for Nikola Vucevic. I think that keeps going here because they're going to be playing catch up against the Hawks. Give me the higher than on Nikola Vucevic's 3-pointers.
See, he swerved you. You thought he was going to say rebounds, but no, he's going 3-pointers this time. All right, Underdog's got a brand new offer for new customers. Play just $5 and you get $75 in bonus funds when you sign up with our code, only our code, MMASGPN. All right, let's head back to the Saitama Super Arena. We're going back to we're sticking with Bantamweight 134. Ryuya Fukuda, he is up against Tatsuya Ando. 3 5-minute rounds, Bantamweight. We'll tell you about Ando first. He's 16-4-1, 7 knockouts, 6 submissions. He's been knocked out once, submitted once. He's 2-0 in RIZIN, so he's won 2 straight and 5 of 6. Past 2 wins both came via submission. He went 0-2 and road to UFC. Matsuri chips on his
mantle.
Correct. Get our shirts, get our merch, sportsgamblingpockets.com/store. 1-0 and 1 championship, so he's fought the best of the best. Used fight at 145, 2014 pro MMA debut, 0-1 in pro shoot boxing, 1-0 in pro kickboxing. Fukuda, 25-9-1, 12 knockouts, 1 submission. He's been knocked out once, submitted once, so he's durable. 3-1 in RIZIN. He's gone 4-1 over his last 5, 12-2 over his last 14, but he did lose his last bout. Regional champ, used fight down at 125, 2011 pro MMA debut. 2 years younger than Ando, an inch taller.
I think Fukuda, with like the spectacularness of his knockouts and stuff like that. Yeah, it's. I mean, I got the baseball hat on too, in honor of the Braves re-signing Ha-Seong Kim this past week. He was a Kiwam. He was a Kiwam hero. Yeah, we
there you go.
Yeah, we got a shortstop back. So Fukuda's got big KO power and has had some really spectacular knockouts as well. For that reason, I think he's probably the favorite here. Plus, he's got a little bit longer of a resume and looks a little bit neater, especially later on. I'm gonna say like the -200 kind of realm, maybe like a +180 on Ando, and I'm gonna go with Ando here. I really like the difference in the way that these two approach the striking game. So if you watch Fukuda, very heavy on his feet, marching forward, does like to throw first sometimes, but like isn't really advancing when he does so. Like he really likes to find a pocket, put those feet down steady and go for it. And I think that that's unfortunate for him in this technical matchup against Ando, because Ando does a really good job of staying out of range of being hit. He is a guy who bounces a lot, moves in and out, and like is way more interested in being out than in. So he really, really, really does a good job to keep himself safe. And I think that plays really well against Fukuda. And then the other thing that he does is once he's way out of range, he kind of has these like lunging shots in. And on one hand, like you might worry about that, but I would worry about it more if he was fighting a guy who I was more confident in his counters. Whereas I just said, like Fukuda really likes to be the first guy. And you saw when Fukuda fought Inoue, right? Like he fought Naoki Inoue for the belt. And when he fought Naoki Inoue, being that it was like really hard for him to deal with those long strikes of Inoue, and Ando's not as long as him, but is like mimicking that length with some distance movement. I saw that be a problem for Fukuda because he is just like not a guy who does a really good job of countering with those strikes. So, I already think that that's a problem. And then in addition to that too, the thing I really like about Ando is like, for a guy who I would call a striker, when you read off the record, he's got tons of submissions and they're all tag and bag rear naked chokes. Every single one of them is like a tag and bag rear naked choke. He hurts the guy, jumps right on top of him, takes the back. The last rear naked choke I watched him have, he didn't even have the hooks in. He just put the choke in so tight. Like he's got sort of like sneaky good submissions for a guy who's like maybe not got the best jiu-jitsu, right? Like his positional jiu-jitsu kind of sucks, but like he waits until you're hurt. And then like all that really matters when you're hurt is that the choke's in. And that's what he does. So I really like Tatsuya Ando here. Hopefully we can get him in like the +180 range.
All right. Locking another dog for Gumby. Moving on up the card, we are going to 146 now. So featherweight, Kleber Koike. You may see him as Kleber Koike Herbst. He's from Brazil. He's up against Vugar Karamov. We got some OVs, just like a few episodes ago. This OV is from, where is he from again? Come on, load. He's from Azerbaijan. They are fighting us at 146, 3 5-minute rounds. We will tell you about Karamov first. Vuji is 21-6, 7 knockouts, 9 submissions. He's been knocked out once, submitted once, 7-3 in RIZIN, and the former champion. Lost win over his last 4, 6-2 over his last 8. Used to fight at 155. 1-0 in Bellator, RIP, a 2012 pro MMA debut, 3 years younger than Koike. Koike is 35, 9-1. 2 knockouts, 30 submissions. That's incredible. One knockout.
GM3 looking record right there.
Yeah, that's wild. He's been knocked out once, submitted once, so he is very durable as well. 10-3 in RIZIN, multi-time champion for the promotion. However, he's lost 2 straight. Before that, he had won 3 straight. He has fought at 135 and 155, 5-2 in KSW, 0-1 in Bellator, RIP. 2008 pro MMA debut, 1-1 in pro shoot boxing, I guess it would be. 1-inch Shaolin at Karamov.
So I kind of hope Kleber Herbst number comes down a little bit here, being that he's lost 2 in a row. Because I do think this is an amazing stylistic matchup for him. So I think if we could get him in like the low 2s, maybe like a -210 or something like that, I'd be all over it. I'd be really excited that we, because typically his numbers are like what, -500, -600 kind of things like that. He loses 2 in a row. Maybe we get him in a playable line. And the reason I like him so much against Karamov is like Karamov is really the prototype of the type of fighter you want to see have to fight Kleber Herbst. There's not really so much about his hands that like wow me. Like they're not infinitely fast. He's not doing tons of damage on the feet. He really just wants to shoot a takedown almost at all times. And like, is there a guy you'd less rather be on the ground with than Kleber Herbst? Maybe Roberto Satoshi, who also fought Karamov, and actually, if you go back and watch that fight, it's like a perfect example of why Karamov is good for Herbst. Like he gets him down, he takes Satoshi down, he's in his guard, he's triangled, and it's over. Actually in that fight too, Satoshi took Karamov down once too, which, is another piece there, right? Like if Satoshi can get him down, maybe Herbst can get him down, but like Karamov just like wants to grapple all the time. And like, that's a terrible thing here. And I will add to, it's not just against Satoshi where I've seen weaknesses in his jiu-jitsu game. Like if you watch him, he fought a guy named Kimura. I want to say it was 2 or 3 fights ago. In that fight, there's like, I want to say at least 2 instances of Karamov taking him down and working to his back and having like a really good back control to the point where you're like, oh, he's going to rear naked choke him. And within 10 seconds of thinking that, he's in bottom mount. Not bottom guard, not just like Kimura changed position by like rotating his hips and was on top instead. Kimura switched the position and moved to mount. And like that to me, I mean, like if that's happening to you against Kimura, like Kleber Herbst is just going to have his way with you on the ground. So for me, I'm kind of hoping we can get him in the low 200s because Kleber Herbst to me is a steal in this fight. Give me Kleber here. Hopefully an early submission.
All right. Got one more play for you in this episode after I tell you about No Vig. We're brought to you by them. No Vig is America's #1 sports prediction market. No Vig, you're getting the best prices because they have reduced juice on bets. Download the No Vig app and get $50 when you spend $5 if you use our promo code SGPN. Get in on the action with No Vig, promo code SGPN. And Rhythm, RITHMM. Rhythm has crushed NFL this season, especially on props. Been really good at identifying when to fade players and take those unders. College basketball is up and running, and with 300 plus schools, Rhythm has predictions for every game, every night. Pairs nicely with the college experience shows on our network, SGPN, with Mac, Colby, and Noah. Every game, you're prepared. Super easy to sign up, run predictions off the house, model, or make your own and play with the sliders. With so many sports and the holidays, this makes it easy to get an elite prediction on a game so that way you can focus on other sports, of course. Gumby will give you an elite prediction because all of Gumby's predictions are elite.
I'm back on the Bulls. It took me a little while, but I'm back on the Bulls. Back-to-back wins over the Cavaliers.
Yeah, true.
They're apparently I picked against them, but they're apparently good again. So I'm taking them over the Hawks tonight, Tuesday night. Give me the Bulls. I mean, they're probably getting 11.5 or something like that, but I'll also take the money line. They're going to pull it off.
All right. Use promo code SGPN25 when you download the Rhythm app for 25% off your first month. So download Rhythm. That's RITHMM and use our promo code SGPN25. All right, covering one more fight here on the main card is the featherweight 146 bout. Yutaka, Saito, Ren, Sugiyama. They are both from Japan. We'll tell you about Sugiyama first. You can call him Yeah Man, all capitalized. Yeah dash man. He's 2-2 with 2 knockouts. He has never been finished in a fight. All those fights taking place in RIZIN. Lost win over his last 4. TKO win in his last bout. He's 14-5 in kickboxing and a champion there. 1-0 in custom fighting. 9 years younger than Saito. Saito is 21-9-2. 5 knockouts, 2 submissions. He's been knocked out twice, submitted once. 4-5 in RIZIN and a former champion. He's lost 2 straight and won 1 of 6. His past 2 losses both have come via finish. He's not fought since July of 2024. He's not won since April of 2023. He's a regional champ, 2011 pro MMA debut, 0-1 as a pro grappler.
This one's really hard for me to decipher where the line's going to be at. The books have been really respectful of Yaman and his foray into MMA. You know, he is only 2-2, but he pretty much kicked right off by fighting killers straight off the bat. And like the books seem to like every single time I'm like, oh, it'll be a massive underdog here. His record's 1-2. And then like you look and you're like, oh no, they actually kind of respect his body of work and stuff like that. So I've been really impressed with the fact that they like get him. Saito is a former champ. There's something to that. For some reason, I still think Yaman's going to be the favorite. I'll say in the low 100s, though, you know, maybe in like the negative 135, negative 140 range. And I'm going to take Yaman. You know, I went back and I rewatched his last fight. I'm really impressed by his improvements in terms of the way that he's grappling. You know, before early on in his career, I mean, it looked like a kickboxer who was grappling, you know, looked like a Muay Thai guy who was grappling. And now he's starting to dig the underhooks, put pressure on the head to stop the double legs. You know, he's keeping his hips away. He's like doing all the things he should do. And that forces people to strike with him. And if you watch Saito, you know, I already mentioned earlier his fight with Kubo, right? The Yuta Kubo. And like, you know, he landed a couple of good shots there. He got in on Kubo's hips. He didn't finish any of those takedowns though. So we're talking about a guy who's already kind of had trouble finishing takedowns. And he's going to be up there against the guy who's going to blast him if it stays on the feet. Because Sugiyama's, I mean, he's just so fast on the feet. His combinations are just so crisp. And if you watch Saito, not only was he having trouble finishing those takedowns in that Kubo fight, but then, you know, on top of that, if you watch him throw, anytime he's throwing, he's really in danger of being countered. And against the guy with the kickboxing and boxing background that Yaman has, like you have to imagine he's got the counters in there to tag him when he drops his hands or when he throws a naked leg kick or something like that. Like Yaman's just going to hurt him, and he's going to hurt him with like 3 or 4 punches before he stops too, right? Like it's not like he lands one and then backs away or he gets one bomb. Like he has combinations all the time. So between the increased wrestling defense we've seen from him and just the hand speed, I think Yaman is the pick.
All right, let's give a recap, but don't go away. Gummy's got at least one more play for you. So he's got Sugiyama, aka Yaman. He's got Koike, aka Koike Herbs, depending on where you're betting him. Ando, Torres, and Dautbek. Lightning rounds, is that Ben Boom Pow? Question mark?
Yeah, so I'm just going to give you guys one in each episode for our RIZIN because we do have a bunch of extra fights, but going too deep here typically gets me out over my skis. So I'm usually good for 2 quick looks down on the prelims. And the one I'm going to take this time is Makoto Shinryu. Makoto Shinryu, I mean, like, look, this guy has fought everybody there is to fight. He fought Koji Ariguchi, fought Jose Torres. Like, this is a guy with, like, a murderer's row kind of record. And, look, he's competitive in just about every fight he's in. So in terms of, when you see him down sort of buried deep on the prelims, you got to love seeing the value on him there. So I'm going to take Makoto Shinryu as my lone lightning round pick for the prelim episode.
All right, you're all set for now for the prelim portion of RIZIN. Some of these are main card, but we have to split them up for you. If you want more talk of RIZIN or anything else, we shall be in the Discord. The Jake Paul talk should be quiet again by now, since it's Tuesday now. It was pretty jumping though Friday night, let me tell you. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. Of course, YouTube, MMA Gambling Podcast. Don't just make MMA upside in there talking to himself. Everyone else can shout as well. Twitter, SGPN MMA, at Gumby Vreeland, at Jeff Fox Writer, at Jeff Fox Writer on Instagram. Where else? I have a Substack, moneymma.substack.com. MMA writing. Gumby has another podcast where he talks about MMA. He actually interviews people. It's called Top Turtle. He's going to tell you about it right now.
Yeah, we got an interview with Jonas Vugar, who is fighting at Octagon 81 this weekend. And you can go back and listen to our breakdown of his fight 2 episodes ago on Sunday's episode. And I'm also talking to Minnesota top team head coach Caitlin Young, who is the coach for the famed Stephen Asplund. So we're talking about Stephen Asplund, all of her work there, and her really long and impressive MMA career too.
Yeah, that should be a good interview. She was, for some reason, surprised you wanted to interview her, right?
Yeah, I mean,
more than accomplished enough.
Yeah, a crazy resume, to be honest.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Yeah, I think we talked about it off air, but like she's fought every like big woman with the exception of Ronda Rousey.
Yep, and now she's coaching a bunch of big ugly men how to strike, which is unique. It's good to see. So check out Top Turtle. Of course, we're at sportsgamblingpockets.com, sportsgamblingpockets.com/store, sportsgamblingpockets.com/Patreon for some bonus content. We'll be back in your ears right away. We'll hit you one more time before Santa comes. The smiling sniper, Jeff Fox, Shorty Vreeland will talk to you tomorrow. Adios.